Hey there, bus friends. I received a note just the other day from a friend, and he said, hey, Dave, you slacker. Maybe I should say former friend. So anyway, he said, you haven't put out any bus videos lately. What the heck is going on? Well, it's true. I haven't put out any bus videos. Bus is still continuing, and in fact, I had her out for a shakedown cruise about 2 weeks ago, beginning of August. Prior to that, a couple of friends and I worked really hard to get her ready for the shakedown cruise, and I just didn't want to take the time away to make videos. So I have a video you're going to see now that I started producing at the end of June. It was going to be released in the first week of July, and it's got some good stuff in it. I will endeavor to get a follow-up video done because, well, she looks a little different now. We've got to start on some color. But let's look at the videos from June that were supposed to come out in July. And like I said, I'll do a follow-up video because a lot of work has been done since the video work that was recorded at the end of June. So let's look at that now. Well, here we are. It's June the 28th, and I wanted to give you a bus update. A lot of work is going on, and I thought I would show you some of the progress that has been made, where things are going next, and kind of what you can expect to see in the near future. Let's start by looking at some of the framing. We did a video, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks ago about the framing, and I got started, and I did some more of the framing. I've stopped for the moment because I've realized there's some order of precedence things that need to happen. So here you can see that there's several courses that have been laid out on this wall. And you may wonder why two of the courses are so close together. Well, it's at that point that the bus actually bends inward. So one course is just below the bend and the next course is just above the bend. So I should be able to tack in wall material between the very bottom course and the second course, and then at the bend we'll have a cut there in the wall material, and then the wall material will lay flat from that third or top piece of material all the way up to the roof. And on this side I have two courses in. You may notice if you look very closely that because the hat channel in my bus is reversed from what I've seen in most buses, I've elected to use two of the wood to steel screws on each hat channel. So I'm catching the brim on each one of them. That should result in a very strong connection between the supporting wood framing and the hat channels of the bus. Well, here's a window hole, and all the holes have been cut for the big windows on the fronts of the bus, and in the back there's a couple of smaller windows back by the bed. These were cut out by a friend who is quite the metal worker. I did not cut these out. He used a combination of an angle grinder and a jigsaw with about a bajillion blades. And they're beautiful, and they are just the right size. Here's one of the window frames that I actually helped create. And it fits right up in here, just like that. And the windows will be hooked on to these. They'll actually clamp on these frames, which will be up against the skin of the bus and then attached to the wood framing inside the bus. So those are all coming together, but I realized as I was working on the wood framing, I wanted to stop until the window frames were in place so that I could get a good alignment with the horizontal framing in the bus so they will attach and support each other. But I don't want to put the windows in until the tintable bed liner is on the outside of the bus, because I want that to be real clean. And with the butyl tape that I'll use, it'll still be tight. It'll still be watertight. But it'll be a lot cleaner with a lot less masking if I wait to put the windows in until this stuff has been covered with the tintable bed liner. So I can't finish the furring strips or put the windows in until that's done. And I don't want to do this until the roof is done. Do the roof first. It's going to get a white elastomeric covering. And when it does, that'll help to reduce heat inside the bus in the summertime. And it'll also be a good sealer for the roof, even though there's almost no seams in this roof to begin with. Still, it's good to get a good watertight seal on there. A couple of things to share with you over here. As you may recall, I put an RV door on the bus, and it fits really well, and it is very tight. But the RV door originally came with glass that was obscured for privacy. It was privacy glass, which in an RV, that makes sense. But for my bus, I need to be able to see this window or see through the window when I'm driving so I can make turns safely. So the glass that's in here now is no longer obscured at all. It is clear glass. It is tempered. It is automotive tempered. It even has the little seal on it. But it was cut specifically to fit this opening so that I could still see out. I've got the full functionality of my RV door, and it's safety glass. So that's great. One other thing to show you on the entryway. Here you can see the tread from the new RV door. And in order to get that tread to have a good step behind it, I had to build up this step a bit. And so I've built it up. It's got plywood under it that's all painted and sealed. And the rubber on here is actually from the back of the bus. During the deconstruction, I saved rubber from the aisleways. And so it's been put here. Now, I haven't glued it down yet. I'm going to get some silicone and glue that into place. But in the meantime, I have it just sitting there, and it's nice to have a good solid step that meets with the sill here really well. The alignment is really good. So I'm pretty happy about that. The sanding of the roof in preparation for the elastomeric coating is well underway. There's a lot to do up here, and it's going to take a while before I get it all done. Hopefully in the next 3 or 4 days, I'll be able to get this finished up. And once it's done and it's been wiped down and degreased, I will apply the elastomeric sealant to the roof, and we'll get a good watertight seal that is bright white. Now, the original roof white came down to the curve. I'm going to be extending it all the way down to this drain rail to give it just a little bit more reflectivity and keep the bus a little cooler in hot conditions. So that's going to be coming up, and I'll probably have a video just of us slapping that stuff on the bus. After the RV window holes were cut, I realized there were some opportunities to pull the sheet metal together a little tighter by adding in some additional rivets. And so I've drilled those out, deburred them, and got those rivets applied to the side of the bus. Now it should be a little bit tighter. You'll also see some scrape marks along there. There was a piece of folded aluminum that curled under there, and I went through and used an angle grinder to cut away that excess material and then cleaned it up. Once the coating gets on the bus, that'll be really tough to tell that it's been ground away like that. And where that edge is, I'll use some flexible roof sealant to go up underneath there. Even though the water will try to drain straight down and there's a good overlap, I'll go ahead and push whatever sealant I can up into that gap so the likelihood of any kind of water intrusion will be reduced. Since this used to be a school bus, there was a stop sign that would flip out from the side of the bus when the students were entering or exiting the bus. There was a bit of goo in the old holes that were in the side of the bus from where that stop sign was mounted. However, with my son's help, we decided to cut and place a piece of aluminum sheeting over that location. And it is well bolted into place using nylock bolts and has been coated with a self-etching primer so that once we get this covered with the bed liner, it should look pretty good. It came out nice and square, and the work is excellent. My son did a great job with that. Many of you know that I plan on using this particular vehicle in my ham radio experiences, which often take place out in the middle of the national forest. And as such, when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm traversing from one location to another in a very dark places, I want good lighting. So I've installed these new headlights in the bus. They are DOT approved and they have an extremely sharp cutoff in the light pattern. So they won't blind oncoming drivers, but they should give me a lot of light when I'm out in the forest. There's your quick bus update. And like I said, a lot's going on. It's really a push to get things done. I was hoping to be done by the end of July with the first version of the bus. Don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to do my best. In the meantime, if you have your own bus or van or trailer or some kind of rig that you're building to either live in part-time or camp in or even be a full-time schoolie, I hope this kind of video is encouraging to you. And if you have questions or comments, put them down in the comments section. I'd love to see those too. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.